University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Tonight it's the last of the first round matches, and whichever team wins will go through to the second round. At the end of tonight's contest, we'll also know which 4 losing teams qualify to compete in the playoffs for the last 2 places in that second round. Exeter College, Oxford is one of the university's oldest, founded by the Bishop of Exeter during the reign of Edward II. In recent times, it's been fictionalised by its former undergraduate Philip Pullman as Jordan College in His Dark Materials. It made an appearance in the film version, and its front quad was where Inspector Morse died from a heart attack. Tonight's team are the youngest in the contest, with an average age of 18, so we better crack on as it's almost their bedtime. Let's meet them.
Tim Heal from Bedfordshire, reading chemistry.
My name's Patrick Howard. I'm from Chudley in Devon and I'm reading modern languages.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Katie McGettigan from Stratford-upon-Avon and I'm reading English.
Emily Williams, I'm from Hampshire and I'm reading modern history.
St Andrews is Scotland's oldest university and the 3rd oldest in the whole of the UK, having been founded in the early 15th century. St Andrews itself is a pretty small town, which means that during term time, roughly 1 in 3 of its population will be a student, which is a daunting thought for anyone planning on visiting just for a quiet game of golf. The university took the series title back in 1982, which was before any of tonight's team was born. Their average age is 22. Let's meet them.
Hello, my name is Noah Keynes. I'm from Brussels in Belgium and I'm studying for a PhD in astrophysics.
Hello, my name is Adiria Putu. I live in Edinburgh and I'm reading history.
And their captain?
My name is Alexis Smith. I'm from Lincolnshire and studying for a PhD in astrophysics.
Hello, my name is Daniel Thomas. I'm from Dorset and I'm studying for a PhD in history.
OK, the rules are the same as ever, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. As I Walked Out One Midsummer Morning by Laurie Lee. For Whom the Bell Tolls by
St Andrews Thomas.
Spanish Civil War.
Correct. First set of bonuses are on English monarchs, St Andrews. Which monarch did Pope Pius V excommunicate in 1570 as a heretic and aider and forter of heretics?
Elizabeth I.
Correct. Which king was excommunicated by Pope Innocent III in 1209? He later surrendered to Innocent's demands and agreed to become his vassal.
Edward II.
That was King John. Which king was excommunicated by Pope Clement VII in 1533 and by Paul III in 1538?
Henry VIII.
Yes. 10 points for this. One of the very few TV channels whose viewers actually welcome repeats. These words by the presenter of BBC One's Points of View describe which channel, found on Freeview 71 and aimed at children of 6 years and under?
Exeter McGettigan.
CBeebies.
Correct. I'll resist any cheap jokes. Your bonuses are on a book. It's titled from a remark by Sherlock Holmes in the story Silver Blaze. Which novel won the 2003 Whitbread Award?
We don't know.
It's The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time. That novel discusses a probability problem popularised by a US television show and involving 3 doors, behind which are 2 goats and a motor car. Which Canadian television presenter gives his name to the problem?
Johnson?
No, it's Monty Hall. The first chapter of Curious Incident is numbered Chapter 2. What is the 7th chapter?
Prime numbers. What's the 7th prime number? 2, 7, 2, 5, 7, 11, 2, 3, 7, 11, 17, 17 or 19?
19.
No, it's 17. They are prime numbers. You got the idea, but you didn't count. 10 points for this. In the book of Genesis, which son of Isaac is described as being born red all over like an hairy garment after struggling with his twin brother Jacob in the womb?
Exeter Heel.
Esau.
Esau is correct, yes. Sold his birthright for a plate of lentil soup, I think. Your bonuses are on painters. Which painter, who worked mostly in Spain and died there in 1614, is best known for his Mannerist religious works in which elongated flame-like figures are painted in bright acid colours?
El Greco?
Correct. Which French painter, born in 1877, is known for his light-hearted, brightly coloured views of racecourses, regattas and seascapes? For example, the Bay of Angels at Nice.
There's not one I think.
Degas, maybe.
Try to...
Degas?
No, it's Dufy. Which English painter, born in 1891, is famous for his large canvases of soldiers and shipbuilders and particularly of biblical scenes set in his home village in Berkshire, all executed in a faux naif linear style?
Where's Alice Lowry? Sorry, where's Alice Lowry?
Lowry?
No, it's Stanley Spencer. Larry was just round the corner. 10 points for this. Which method of street lighting was pioneered in London when 4 demonstration projects at Pottersfield Park, the area...
St Andrews Thomas.
Gaslighting.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. At Pottersfield Park, the area around City Hall in Southwark and footpaths in Greenwich and Barnet became operational in March 2008.
Exeter McGettigan.
Person-sensitive lighting?
No, it's light-emitting diode lighting. 10 points for this starter question. When playing snooker, if at the start of your break you pot the final red ball, followed by a blue ball, then onto the colours, successfully potting the yellow and green, but missing the brown, how many points have you scored?
St Andrews Smith.
10.
Anyone want to buzz from Exeter?
Exeter Heel.
11.
11 is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on a gemstone, Exeter. Which gemstone is a fluorine aluminium silicate most commonly found in a yellow form, as, for example, at the Schneckenstein Cliff in Saxony?
Just takes topaz, yeah.
Topaz?
Topaz is right. Topaz is the second Mrs. Mortmain and stepmother to the narrator in which 1948 novel by Dodie Smith about an eccentric and impoverished family?
I Capture the Castle.
Correct. Topaz was the middle name of which poet, born around 1830, whose works are described as uniformly bad but possess a disarming naivety and a calypso-like disregard for metre that never failed to entertain?
McGonagall.
It was William McGonagall. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you will see a map of the world. The states highlighted represent the membership of an international organisation. 10 points if you can name it.
Exeter McGettigan.
NATO.
It is, yes, well done. Right, you're now going to see a map showing the member states of 3 more current international organisations. 5 points if you can identify the organisation in each case. Firstly, for 5 points, please identify A.
Is it the, what's the X? USSR. No, not anymore. The X comes. OPAC, maybe.
No, we don't know.
It's the Commonwealth of Independent States. You were in the right terrain, but you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Is that OPAC? No. Should we go for it anyway? Oh, no, P. Oh, sorry, P. I don't know.
The South Pacific Organisation.
there's the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, and finally C, please.
OPAC.
No, that's the Arab League, or the League of Arab States. Another starter question now. In April 1908, which Chancellor of the Exchequer travelled by boat and train to Biarritz, where he kissed hands with Edward VII at the Hôtel du Palais to become the only British Prime Minister to date to need to travel overseas to take office?
St Andrews Thomas.
Asquith.
Asquith is right, yes. Your bonuses, St Andrews, are on women. Firstly, what word for a quarrelsome and scolding woman derives from that of an imaginary Muslim deity, a stock character in medieval mystery plays?
Shrew.
No, it's termagant. In modern English, suggestive of loudness or ill temper, what 6-letter word is used by Virgil and Ovid to denote a strong, vigorous woman and became the name of a publishing company founded in 1973?
Nominate a Putu.
Virago.
Virago is correct, yes. Both in Shakespeare and in modern times, the name of which insectivorous mammal indicates a troublesome, nagging woman?
We'll go true.
It is, yes. 10 points for this. Cirripedia is a subclass of crustaceans comprising which organisms with an external shell which, as adults, attach themselves permanently to a variety of surfaces?
St Andrews Thomas.
Mollusks.
No, anyone want to buzz from Exeter?
Exeter McGettigan.
Limpets.
No, barnacles. 10 points for this. Denoting what is thought to be the oldest technique for joining metals other than mechanical fastening, what verb or its derived adjectival form mean respectively to join with hard solder and insolently audacious, shameless or impudent?
Exeter heel.
Weld.
No, anyone want to buzz from St Andrews?
St Andrews Aputu.
Brazen.
Braze or brazen is correct, yes. You'd be level pegging if you get these bonuses. They're on medieval churchmen. Gesta Regum Anglorum, or History of the English Kings, is a 12th century work by which monk named after a Benedictine abbey in North Wiltshire?
Bede.
No, it's William of Malmesbury. Named after a village in Surrey, which scholastic philosopher gives his name to the maxim expressed in Latin as entia non sunt multiplicanda praeter necessitatem?
Geoffrey of Monmouth.
No, that's William of Ockham, Ockham's razor. Which Bishop of Winchester under Edward III founded both New College, Oxford, and the school whose pupils bear his name?
William Wickham.
William of Wickham is right. 10 points for this starter question. Art for art's sake, Two Cheers for Democracy, and aspects of the novel are non-fiction...
Exeter McGettigan.
E.M. Forster.
Well done. Your bonuses, Exeter, are on legal affairs. Dalton Trumbo, Ring Lardner Jr. and Edward Dmytryk were members of which group of screenwriters who were cited for contempt of Congress and jailed in 1947 for refusing to answer questions about their political beliefs?
McCarthyites.
They were called the Hollywood 10. It was that period, but they were called the Hollywood 10. The NatWest 3, who were jailed in February 2008 for pocketing $7.3 million of their employers' money, made headlines by their challenge to which 2003 Act of Parliament?
It's an extradition treaty with America. I don't know what it's called. Okay.
Extradition Act.
Correct. What was the title of the 1993 film directed by Jim Sheridan based on the case of the Guildford Four?
Is it YLF? What's the Daniel Day-Lewis one? No, what's the Daniel Day-Lewis one? In the Name of the Father.
In the Name of the Father.
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. In quantum mechanics, what operator is defined such that the energy of a system with wave function psi is an eigenvalue of the operator acting on the wave function?
Exeter heel.
Hamiltonian.
Correct. Your bonuses are on Antarctica. Which British seafarer gives his name to the narrowest point of the Southern Ocean, lying between Cape Horn and the Antarctic Peninsula?
Cook Strait. It's like the, what do you think? What do you think it is?
Come on.
I don't think it's that. A cook.
No, it's Sir Francis Drake, the Drake Passage. Almost 4,900 metres high, what is Antarctica's highest peak, named after the first man to serve 50 years in the US Congress?
Nominate Howard.
Mount Erebus.
No, it's the Vinson Massif. Formerly a major centre of Antarctic exploration, the Bay of Whales was created by the uneven advancement of which ice shelf, the world's largest body of floating ice?
Nominate Howard
The
again.
Ross Ice Shelf.
Correct. We're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you will hear a piece of classical music. All you have to do to get yourselves 10 points is to name the German composer.
St Andrews Canes.
Brahms.
Brahms is correct. So, following on from Brahms's Hungarian Dance No. 5, which featured memorably in the 1940 Charlie Chaplin film The Great Dictator, your music bonus is 3 more pieces of classical music featured in well-known films, 5 points if you can give me the name of the composer and the film. First, for 5 points, the composer and the Oscar-winning film of 1986.
Platoon and Samuel Barber.
It is. It's Adagio for strings. Secondly, the composer and film of 1968.
2000.
2001, A Space Odyssey, and Strauss.
It is Also sprach Zarathustra. And finally, the composer and film of 1979.
It's Apocalypse Now, and the composer's Wagner.
Yes, The Ride of the Valkyries. 10 points for this. The Italian national anthem refers to the Italian people donning Scipio's helmet in reference to Scipio Africanus, the Roman general best known for defeating which Carthaginian commander at the Battle
St Andrews, Thomas.
Hannibal.
Hannibal is right. Your bonuses are on lips in Shakespeare. Alas, why gnaw you, sir, your nether lip? Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. In which of Shakespeare's tragedies do these lines occur?
King Lear?
No, it's in Othello. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. These words, uttered in a graveyard, refer to whom?
Ophelia?
No, they refer to Yorick. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost. To which of Shakespeare's heroines do those words refer?
Juliet?
Correct. Another starter question. Born in the 11th century in Nishapur in Persia, which astronomer designed a calendar accurate to 1 day in...
St Andrews, Thomas.
Ptolemy.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Accurate to 1 day in 3,770 years, making it even more accurate than the Gregorian calendar, although he's better known as a poet.
Exeter McGettigan.
Omar Khayyam.
Yes! Your bonuses are on the expansion of the British Empire. In each case, give the decade during which the following occurred. Firstly, for 5, the Peace of Paris confirmed Britain's possession of Ontario, Quebec, Prince Edward Island, Dominica, Grenada and Florida.
1750s.
No, it's the 1760s. The Seychelles, Mauritius, Ceylon and the Ionian Islands were all ceded to Britain in which decade?
1800s.
They were the 1810s after the Napoleonic Wars. Bad luck. Britain assumed direct control of India from the East India Company, and Victoria and Queensland became colonies. Which decade?
Okay. 1830s.
It was the 1850s. 10 points for this. Cardinal Richelieu, Michelangelo, El Cid, Moses and God were among the roles of which screen act?
St Andrews, Aputu.
Charlton Heston.
Yes. Your bonuses are on a mathematical transformation. What name is usually given to a transformation W equals f of z that preserves local angles? Come on, you either know it or you don't.
Cartesian?
No, it's conformal mapping or conformal transformation. The conformal map I times 1 minus z all over z plus 1, where I is the square root of minus 1, maps all complex numbers z with moduli less than or equal to 1 to which 2 quadrants of the complex plane?
Real and imaginary. Oh, is it real and imaginary? Real and imaginary?
No, it's the first and second quadrants. The conformal map that takes z to z plus 1 over z is used in aerodynamics and is named after which Russian mathematician?
Markov?
No, it's Zhukovsky. 10 points for this. What adjective precedes Buddhist, dragon and fundamentalist in the titles of works by the broadcaster William Woolard and the novelist Kenneth Grahame and Mohsin Hamid, respectively?
Exeter McGettigan.
Reluctant.
Yes! Your bonuses, Exeter, are on mining. Some 60 kilometres from Athens, the hills at Laurium were deeply mined, particularly after the 5th century, for which precious metal, one of the chief sources of revenue for the Athenian state?
Silver.
Correct. At one time accounting for around a third of the world's production, Soma silver, named after a nearby village, was excavated extensively in the 16th and 17th centuries from the Iwami Ginzan mine in which East Asian country? Come on, let's have an answer, please.
India.
No, it's Japan. Which mineral, the chief ore of lead, was mined notably from the 5th century AD at Mel in France because its deposits often contain significant amounts of silver?
Nominate Heel.
Galena.
Galena is correct, yes. Right, and we're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a photograph of a literary figure. To get 10 points, you just have to name him.
St Andrew Smith.
Arthur Miller.
Anyone want to buzz from Exeter?
Exeter McGettigan.
Truman Capote.
No, that is Jean-Paul Sartre. So picture bonuses in a moment or two. Fingers on the buzzers, 10 points for this. Rathlin Island, Carrickfergus Castle, the Bushmills Distillery and the Giant's Causeway are all...
Exeter McGettigan.
Belfast.
No, you lose 5 points. Are all located in which county of Northern Ireland?
St Andrew Smith.
Tyrone.
Good heavens, no, it's Antrim. 10 points for this. Fine hair, grey cloak, hard ruler and blood axe are among the nicknames of kings of which country from the 9th to the 11th centuries?
St Andrews Thomas.
Sweden.
No, anyone want to buzz from Exeter College? Quickly.
Exeter McGettigan.
Russia.
No, it's Norway. 10 points for this. Opening on Broadway in December 2000, the musical Fermat's Last Tango is a fictionalised account of which mathematician's struggle to prove Fermat's last theorem?
St Andrew Smith.
Andrew Wild.
Andrew Wiles is right. So you get the picture bonuses following on from Jean-Paul Sartre. 3 more influential French intellectuals of the 20th century. 5 points for each you can name. Firstly, for 5, who's this?
Foucault.
That is Michel Foucault. Secondly, who's this?
Derrida. Jacques Derrida.
Derrida.
It is Derrida. And finally...
Nominate Keynes.
Simone de Beauvoir.
It is indeed. Level pegging, 120 points apiece. 10 points for this. In the international recognition alphabet used by NATO, what comes after Mike and before Oscar?
St Andrew Smith.
November.
Correct. Gives you the lead. Your bonuses are on Homer's Iliad. Book 1 of the Iliad recounts a quarrel between which 2 Greek leaders over the captive woman Briseis? Come on.
Agamemnon and Odysseus.
No, it's Agamemnon and Achilles. In Book 3, the husband and the abductor of Helen fight an inconclusive duel in a vain attempt to bring the war to an end. For 5 points, give me both their names.
Palace and Paris, is it? How is the Palace and Paris? He was a king.
Pallas and Paris.
No, it's Paris and Menelaus. Book 6 of the Iliad includes a poignant scene of a Trojan hero and his wife, together with their child Astyanax. What are their names? Come on.
We don't know.
They're Hector and Andromache. 10 points for this. The 2007 film Run, Fat Boy, Run marked the cinema debut as director of which...
St Andrews Thomas.
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer is correct. Your bonuses now are on Carolingian architecture. Consecrated in 805, the Palatine Chapel forms part of the cathedral of which German city and is the reason for the city's French name?
Strasbourg.
No, it's Aachen, Aix-la-Chapelle. Reichenau Island, noted for examples of Carolingian architecture, is a World Heritage Site in which large lake, part of the River Rhine?
Constance.
Indeed, it is. An innovation of Carolingian builders, a monumental entrance to a church consisting of porches and towers, often with a chapel above, is named after the direction it faces. Which direction is that?
East.
No, it faces west. 3 minutes to go, 10 points for this. 55, Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré is the address of which palace, the official residence of the French president?
St Andrews Thomas.
The Elysee.
The Elysee Palace is right. Your bonuses are on a 19th century novel. Winner of the 2006 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, Geraldine Brooks's March imagines the American Civil War experience of Mr. March, the absent father in which novel, first published 1868?
Little Women.
Little Women.
Correct. One of Hollywood's earliest adaptations of a literary classic to achieve enormous commercial success. George Cukor's 1933 version of Little Women cast which actress in the role of Jo March?
Catherine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn.
Correct. Born 1962. Which American composer wrote the opera Little Women, based on Alcott's book, which premiered in 1998? Come on.
John Adams.
No, it's Mark Adamo. 2 minutes to go, 10 points for this. What removable storage media did Alan Shugart and his group develop for IBM from 1967?
St Andrew Smith.
The floppy disk.
Floppy disks is right. Your bonuses are on human biology. What two-word term denotes the sequence of events that take place during one heartbeat? Let's have an answer, please.
Don't know.
It's cardiac cycle. In the cardiac cycle, what seven-letter term denotes the period of contraction of the ventricles as opposed to the atria of the heart? Let's have it.
Expulsion.
No, it's systole. What name is given to the medical condition where the systolic and diastolic blood pressures exceed the normal range?
Hypertension.
Hypertension is right. 10 points for this. The Italian word antipasto literally means before what?
St Andrew's Canes.
Don't know, sorry.
You don't know? No. Right. Exeter College. One of you buzz.
Exeter McGettigan.
A meal.
Meal is right, yes. Your bonuses now are on capital cities. Which African capital lies at the confluence of the Blue and White Nile?
I think it's Khartoum.
Come on.
Khartoum.
Khartoum's right. Which Asian capital is located at the confluence of the Tonle Sap, Bassac and Mekong rivers?
Beijing.
Quickly.
Beijing.
It's Phnom Penh. Which European capital lies at the confluence of the Sava with the Danube?
Budapest.
Quickly.
Budapest.
No, it's Belgrade. 10 points for this. What everyday word is made by combining the symbols for the SI base units of electric current, time and temperature?
St Andrew Smith.
Ask.
Ask is right. Your bonuses now are on a prefix. In the mid-1980s, which new estrogen-like chemicals derived from plants were discovered in human urine? Soybean products and some other tropical legumes were found to be particularly rich sources. Come on.
I don't know.
They're phytoestrogens. Well, plant life that is classified as phytobenthos would be found where? And at the gong, Exeter College, Oxford have 135, St Andrews University have 190. Well, you were just beaten to the buzzer 1 or 2 times too many, weren't you, Exeter College? So we shall have, I'm afraid, to say goodbye to you. St Andrews, congratulations to you. We shall look forward to seeing you in round 2. I hope you can join us for the first of those second-round matches. We now know the 4 highest-scoring losing teams. They are St John's College, Cambridge, King's College, Cambridge, Surrey University and Pembroke College, Oxford. I hope you can join us next time for those playoffs. But until then, it's goodbye from Exeter College.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from St Andrews University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Next on BBC Two, Chef Valentine Warner is in plum heaven and it looks tasty. What to eat now coming up. Over on BBC 4 now, there's a new quiz show starting involving patience and lateral thinking. Only Connect.